today's makeup tutorial, Psycho Clown. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. Okay, so to begin, we're going to use Max Mixing Medium, water-based, and mix it with the white chroma cake with a flat foundation brush. Apply it smoothly along the face using the flat side of the brush. Be very generous with the chroma cake. You do want it to be solid and not streaky. The benefits of using this mixing medium is that it has silicone in it and it makes it flexible on the body. So if the person is going to be moving around, you definitely want to use this product. If you are just going to do it for pictures, you might be able to just use water or alcohol on the body. If you're doing it for face, you don't want to use anything with alcohol on it. It burns. You want to try to do this as quickly as possible to avoid any streaking or any overlapping, so everything will look nice and smooth. Make sure to apply it all over the face, the head, and the shoulder area. I'm doing about 2 layers of this white paint just to get it nice and smooth and solid. I'm not going to paint the eyes since I will be doing another design on top of the eye with another color. These chroma cakes are buildable, but when you're using a dark color on top of a light color, they tend to blend very well, and you might not get as crisp of the dark color as you'd like. Make sure to get the whole back and the back of the head, back of the ears. Make sure no skin is showing through. You can go as far as doing the whole entire body, or you can go ahead and just do up to the shoulder area like I am. Next step coming up I should have done in the beginning, but I didn't, so I'm gonna do it now. I'm using Elmer's glue stick to flatten out the brows, and I'm going to go in the direction of the hair and upwards. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to use my hair dryer to dry them thoroughly and set them with Makeup Forever HD setting powder. I'm going to repeat this 4 times. Now using a stippling sponge, just dab it into some black chroma cake and dab it in a napkin just to make it look a little dirty and give the skin a little more texture. Now using a large angled brush, start creating the points and the outline of the diamond shape that's going to be on the eye. You want to be using these tools efficiently by using the brushes on its side and the sharp edges to create these points so that they are crisp and clean. Now this version is not as crisp and clean as my final version because I had to redo it because the camera didn't get this part. So when you see me pop in there, it's because the camera didn't catch it. Crystal clean, not. So now here I have the finished product on the model. I used the same brush with the black chroma cake to create this perfect diamond shape, and I also used the same brush to create the curves on the red beard with a red chroma cake. Now I'm going to freehand the eye shape that's going to look like a crown with a black chroma cake. I'm using the same angled brush to help me facilitate the points that are on this particular eye shape. Doing the outline with the black and then gently filling in. The camera also didn't capture me doing the contour on the cheekbones and the little round black dot on the tip of the nose. You can do that with a black eyeshadow. In this case, I used Carbon. Now, with a pointed brush, medium size, use a blue chroma cake to fill in the lid and the top part of this crown shape eye shape. Now extend it to the top of these points and blend it into the black outline. Also do the bottom part of the eye and add a little bit of black to blend it in to the blue, kind of like a contour. Now I'm going to use a little white in the corner here just to give it a little bit of highlight and let the eye have a little bit more life. Now I'm going to take a little bit of liquid latex, or some people call it balloon latex. It's very fine. I'm going to use a Q-tip and just dab on some teeth on top of the lip area and on the bottom lip area. I'm going to create a few layers of this, about 3 or 4 layers on top of each other of each tooth, to create a 3-dimensional effect so the teeth are visually popping out of the skin. Do this to both top and bottom. I believe I did about 4 layers of this. Use a blow dryer to dry it, but just be very careful. If I were to do this professionally for an event, I would probably make the pieces separate and then glue them on with Pros-Aid or spirit gum to make them last longer. So you can't see what I'm doing right now, but I'm painting a diamond-shaped wound on his front clavicle with liquid latex, and I'm just doing the border so I can apply the tissue paper on top. Now I'm going to take some tissue paper, get 1 sheet of tissue, and separate it from itself so that you get a very fine sheet, and put it right over the wet liquid latex wound outline. Now make sure you press it right on very well and rip off the extra pieces around. Grab a Q-tip with the liquid latex and put it right over the same outline of the diamond-shaped wound that you just painted previously. I'll show you guys how to do this in more detail in another tutorial. Now I'm filling in all around and in the middle, making the appearance of skin. I'm adding to the edges that are ripped some liquid latex and adding another layer on the teeth. Now I'm going to dry it with a hair dryer. As you can see, there's little pieces of flesh-looking things flapping around. That's the actual tissue paper. Now on the back of the head with a little bit of liquid latex, I'm going to paint about a 1/4 inch line from one side of the ear to the other side of the ear on the back of the head. That's how you'll measure it, from ear to ear. You're going to paint that on to the weave strip as well that I previously cut out. Be generous with the latex and let it get a little tacky before you apply the hair piece onto the head. Once this is tacky, you can go ahead and apply it directly to the head. Now you're going to reinforce the hairpiece by applying a thick layer of liquid latex over the weave strip. Go all the way around it and put extra layers to reinforce the corners. Right above the strip, add another layer of liquid latex as you did before onto the skin so you can apply a second piece of weave. Now you're going to repeat putting the latex on the second piece of weave to overlay on top of the first piece. Now that you have it on, you can go ahead and repeat that other step of putting and covering the strip on the hair weave with the liquid latex. Now I'm going to give it a generous amount because this is going to be the top piece and I want it to look like it's growing out of his head. So I'm filling in the gap that's between the head and the skin and the hairpiece. And I'm really reinforcing the corners. Now I'm going to use a hair dryer to make sure that it's nice and dry and it doesn't go anywhere. Now I'm going to use some wipes to remove some of the white paint outline so I can make a scallop shape and make it look like his skin is kind of ripped or like he's coming out of himself. I'm going to do this all the way around the body to give it a finished effect. Once I'm done with that, with a liner brush, I'm going to outline the white to give this a little bit of depth. And I'm going to continue all the way around. With the purple color and the same angled brush, I'm going to take a latex sponge and blend out the wet purple chroma cake that I'm putting onto the cracks. Purple usually gives a bruising effect on the skin, makes the skin look irritated. Now I'm going to add a second layer of this purple closer to the edge so that it looks a little bit more colorful, just for Halloween's sake. Now I'm going to use the HD micronized paint from MAC Cosmetics in my Temptu Airbrush. What a sin. I'm going to use the red color, primary red, to make some irritation happen right underneath and over the purple onto the skin. The reason I use the micronized airbrush cleanser is to make the paint appear a little bit more watered down and more transparent. So now I'm going to do all that all over again on the back side. I'm going to trim the outline with the black paint, black chroma cake with the angled brush, make the skin look ripped. I'm going to proceed with the purple and the latex sponge to blend it out and make it look more transparent. Here I did a little bit of the red airbrush when I did the front. I went to the back, but I'm still going to do more airbrush on top of this as I did in the front side. I'll apply the red micronized HD airbrush foundation or makeup from MAC Cosmetics on top of the purple and on the back of the skin to make it look more irritated and bloody. And I'm using my Temptu airbrush, which I love. No cables, and it's rechargeable in my USB. What? Now I'm adding some extensions of the blood because I'm going to add some liquid blood on top of all this at the end to make it look nice and bloody and gory. I love fake blood, so I not only use one fake blood, but I use 2 or 3 fake blood for all my gory stuff. You can catch a making of this wound in another video, so check out my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell so you get a reminder of every single new video that is posted. So continue to dirty up the makeup by adding more fake blood, chunks of fake blood, and make sure you get it on the white part so that it looks real and messy. Now that we're done bleeding, or are we? Let's use a medium-sized pointy brush with a purple chroma cake to get right in between those teeth to give it some depth and some shadow. Make sure to paint the lip area that is exposed with the purple as well. Extend the in-betweens of the teeth downward and upward so that it looks like the teeth are actually Now with the same brush, we're going to add some black chroma cake to the middle of the mouth just to give it more depth and make it look like it's deeper than it is. Red micronized HD MAC makeup, we're going to airbrush using my Temptu airbrush, which I love, all around the teeth and in between just to give it a messy kind of effect. If I were to do this again, I would probably paint the teeth white before doing so that they don't turn orange like they did. Airbrush the red paint on the white to give it some 3D texture. Now I'm adding some pure purple with the airbrush to give some shading and more added texture. Makes the skin look old, bruised, and nasty. Also adding it to the head and the contour of the cheeks. Make sure to check out my website, www.makeupartbygaston.com. Please subscribe to my channel. Check the little bell on the right side so you can be reminded of the new tutorials. Thank you so much for your support.